thing about me, and I'm going to go live with my sister, aunt, mom, brother, friend, who said I can stay on their couch for as long as I needed. There's plenty of people who have practiced yoga their entire lives and are miserable. There's plenty of successful musicians, actors, artists, etc. that are perfectly miserable. 16. Your self-worth is not contingent upon your employment status or standing. I think this is one of the most destructive illusions of our culture. You are you. Our culture uses beautiful human critters to produce resources. I wish it was the other way around, but it's not. When you are no longer needed to produce those resources, you no longer have a job. This has nothing to do with your value as a human being. Doctor, lawyer, nurse, mom, hooker, train conductor, ticket taker, writer, these are all just beautiful illusions and don't represent us as a human. Herbie Hancock doesn't identify himself as a musician, but as a human being. And if there is any fucker on the planet that deserves to call themselves a musician, it's Herbie fucking Hancock. Few musicians have the security of their vocation as much as he does. So why does he do it? Because he's pious? No, because it just doesn't make any sense to create this false boundaries between self and other. And humanness is something that no matter how hard oppressive cultural realities may try, can never be stripped from us. 17. Acknowledge your fears and go after them. What are you avoiding? What have you always wanted to do but quite never found the time? What is it that keeps you going back to the bottle, medicine cabinet, Coke machine, terrible sex, shitty food, dealer, etc.? Dance with your fears and the universe opens up for you. There is no failure. Along the same lines, respect that other people's fears may be radically different than yours, and that doesn't mean that it's any less of an accomplishment. What if it took the lousy checkout clerk every ounce of her being, every last bit of courageous bravery she had, just to get herself out of bed in the morning? What if the simple act of walking down the street took all the bravery of a teenager, and what you didn't know is that they had been raped in that alley they just walked past? The tremendous act of courage of opening a small business when your parents told you that you would never amount to jack shit, that you're worthless and will always be. In short, not everyone conquers their fear or possesses the resources by going skydiving. 18. Travel. As my wise uncle told me, travel is the university of life. And when you do travel, break out of your comfort zone. What's the fucking point of going somewhere exotic and staying in some bullshit resort that is exactly like Florida? Just go to fucking Florida if you want Florida. The rest of the world isn't as scary as the media makes it out to be. Don't have the resources to travel? Take a different route than you normally do to the grocery store. Turn your home into where you want to go. Learn the language spoken there. 19. Meditate. Everybody has access to their own mind. Every moment of your life is a perfect opportunity to do this, whether reading a book, listening to a friend, or doing dishes. Bring yourself back to the present moment. It is such a beautiful place to be. That's all mindfulness meditation is, constantly bringing you back to the moment, so you don't have to sit your ass on some weird pillow if that's not your thing. Every time you bring yourself back to the present moment, change occurs. Think the world has gone to shit and therefore you're depressed? Wrong. An unfocused mind dwells in the depths of hell. The hell of being afraid to live and afraid to die. And when you're in hell, you take everyone around you with you. The problem with Christianity is that it places the time-space of heaven and hell as something your spirit goes to after you die. Heaven and hell are right here, in our own minds. 20. Find compassion for past decisions. Again, whether we believe it or not, we are always doing our best. And chances are that the decision you made that you beat yourself up over time and time again wasn't as bad as you thought. Remember, what our actions produce in this world is anyone's guess. Yes, you might have made someone feel like shit for something you did, but chances are you are way harder on yourself than they are, and they have moved on from it, and they may even be grateful to you for it. And having compassion for yourself allows you to perform the courageous act of apologizing. Decisions are neither bad nor good. Decisions produce effects, highly complex ones beyond our comprehension. Yes, maybe something you did cost you your job. What if that was exactly what you needed to move on in the direction of fulfilling your life's purpose? 21. Learn something new. An instrument, a foreign language, etc. The reward isn't the acquisition of knowledge, but the process of learning. Know that you are brilliant and can learn anything. If someone gets impatient when trying to teach you something, know that this has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your ability. And just because you don't know something doesn't mean you lack intelligence somehow. It just means that you have never been taught. Or you forgot. Everyone forgets. If you get frustrated during the process of learning, just take a deep breath and regain your focus. And if you don't get a concept, don't fret. The concept might be a load of bullshit anyway. And just because your conscious mind didn't, quote, get it, it doesn't mean that you haven't understood it on a subconscious level. This may also mean unlearning something you held as truth. The internet is full of all kinds of free sites to aid beautiful critters on their creative path. 22. Make every day a beautiful work of art. Hell, make taking out the trash an artistic endeavor. Participation in art has the ability to transform suffering into something positive. How many amazing songs have come from heartbreak? The world is a beautiful work of art. It is our obligation to participate in this artful process. It's what makes life worth living. 23. Love with all your might. To love is the most noble act a human critter can participate in. One thing I think people tend to forget is that we are all going to die. This is not meant to be fatalistic, quite the contrary, actually. It is meant to be a motivational force to the pursuit of living in love. To show love and compassion to all creatures is a revolutionary act. Maybe the biggest challenge one can undertake is garnering the capacity to love something that we were socialized to fear. To live in love is the ultimate goal. It's the grand challenge of life. This doesn't mean that when you live in love you're perfect. We're flawed as fuck and always will be. This is beautiful. But when you live in love, you possess the gumption to apologize when you fucked up. To not take it personally when someone is being a turd. To not take yourself so damn seriously. To have the confidence to take a chance and give yourself the opportunity to fuck up and grow from it. To dance in the face of fear. Alpha fearmongers rely on ignorance in order to help maintain control. It's easy to be ignorant, fearful, and therefore hateful. It takes courage to be compassionate and understanding. As my grandma would say, the best thing in this world is to love and be loved. My grandmother was my yogi. She was tragically widowed, and yet she still managed to open up a pizza shop. That's some fucking resilience. That's enlightenment. That's showing a toughness stronger than any military man I have ever met by far. She was a devout Christian, but what made her so special is that she believed in it. She was a spiritual Christian. There aren't enough of these and too many dogmatic ones, in my opinion. I considered myself an atheist from a very young age. I was walking along a path in my neighborhood and noticed a dog's dick. I thought, hey, I got one of those too. This whole religious business must be a bunch of pomp and circumstance. When I was young, I would sleep with my grandma at night sometimes. My cousins and I would rotate doing this. Looking back, I realized we were getting instilled with my grandmother's spiritual practice. It was our education, and it occurred at night, at home, and didn't look anything even close to a classroom. She would pray, and my lands, it seemed to go on for an eternity. My cousins and I would joke about it and wonder how the hell she could remember all the people she was praying for. Her spiritual practice sustained her. She got heart disease and had emergency surgery in Milwaukee, and the doctor said it would buy her 3 to 5 years tops. It bought her at least 15, and those were vibrant years. All the doctors she had between Milwaukee and Ohio said it was a miracle. But they believed it was miraculous because she existed outside the scientific spectrum of what is considered possible. That's not what made my grandma a miracle. My grandma made my grandma a miracle. Even though I was a devout atheist at the time, I could not deny the power of her spiritual practice and the vibrancy that it brought to her life. To discount it would have been a disservice to the extraordinarily rich and full life my grandma lived. Take her funeral, for example. You'd have thought Bono died, for Christ's sake. This little spark of a woman from Dillonvale, Ohio, had people from all over the United States migrate to a tiny town to pay homage to her and her life. And if she had the resources, I bet the Japanese exchange student that she made such an impression on would have made the trip too. We communed to honor her passing, and as a last act of her spirituality, she had us all sing her favorite song together. What a beautiful way to infect us all one last time with your essence, Grandma. Bravo. 24. Know that the things you seek to escape from are opportunities for growth. The bills, the horrific memories, the quote abnormal sexuality, whatever it is you run from, these are all opportunities knocking at your consciousness, just wanting you to commune with you, not to run from them. You don't need fix. There's nothing to fix. You're already perfect. All you have to do is realize it. 25. Howl at the moon. Wolves know things us humans will never intellectually be able to comprehend. 26. Create your own list of what makes you feel alive and do them. 27. Everyone has some form of insecurity. Trust me, you're definitely not alone here. It's all in how you relate to insecurities that counts. The more you worry and direct attention to them, the more they grow. The more you have an indifferent approach to them, the less power they hold over you. Emotionally undeveloped people exploit insecurities. Fuck them. They're suffering, and the best thing to do is just avoid them. If you're in a healthy relationship, you will help heal each other's insecurities as opposed to making them worse. 28. Know that you are loved. I really don't know if Jesus loves you or not, but I'm guessing he was a pretty enlightened fellow whose message just got a tad lost in translation, and his loving energy is still swirling around this great orb, just waiting for you to realize that it doesn't matter if he loves you or not because you love you and you are God. So there, God loves you. And that's good enough. That's all that is needed. All you have to do is realize it. The darkness is a master illusionist. When you're in the thick of darkness, it doesn't seem like there is a soul in the world that loves you. This isn't true, but humans rarely act on facts. Know that you are loved, and healing allows you to recognize this. 29. Commune with the darkness. This is a tricky one, so I want to be extra careful here. If you're on medication, prescribed or otherwise, please don't just chuck it out the window. Although this may work, your beautiful body has become accustomed to the input of medication, and withdrawal can be fatal. The goal is to be brimming with life, so this seems counterproductive. If you want to get off medication, please go find someone or an organization that has experience in such matters. For many of us, we keep batting away the darkness with distractions, with excessive exercise and eating, or hey, I haven't checked Facebook in 5 minutes. You know what your distractions are. This doesn't satisfy the darkness. It just keeps knocking at the door because, like anything else in the world, it wants attention. There are a bunch of different modalities for communing with the darkness, so I suggest doing some research to see what you think would be most effective. Whatever you do, keep breathing. This allows the darkness to flow through you, to become unstuck. And the words of my father relating to someone or something that sucks, don't let the door hit you in the ass on your way out. Yoga helps with this. I think most Americans have a misconception of how yoga works. It helps you commune with yourself, all of yourself, to bring about emotional freedom. Emotional freedom means being in touch with the rage, the horrific trauma, sadness, and guilt. It allows us to work with these things and deal with them in a healthy way so we can move on, so we can experience joy. But you can't just take one class and expect a miracle. The miracle was deciding you're worth going to the class. Miracles happen, but miracles are an everyday part of natural life, not some crazy sky-splitting, lightning-crashing upheaval. But miracles reveal themselves in the touch of a loved one, a three-point buzzer beater, a leaf falling from a tree, the perfect song for the perfect occasion, waves crashing on a beach, the sound of laughter from